and gentlemen, welcome to the Holy Joe Rock and Roll Show, live and unscripted.
Good evening, everybody. It is your boy Holy Joe Rock and Roll coming at you live and unscripted this Wednesday. Hang on. This Wednesday, the 27th of March, 2019. Yeah, the charges were dropped against Jussie Smollett, or Schmolletz. For Polish people, they know what Schmolletz is. Pork fat. Actually tastes pretty good if it's done correctly. First time I tried it, I hated it, but then when I was in Gdańsk, one of my business colleagues invited me to try it at a really good Polish restaurant, and I actually enjoyed it. And so, Schmolletz, I'm going to call him Jussie. So what happened, if you didn't hear, is that the 16 felony charges were dropped against this creep, this almost rainbow coalition. He's a gay Jew black man who identifies as a woman because, after all, he does use his vagina. Am I wrong? Am I wrong? I mean, I don't want to misgender him. So yeah, this guy could have created a race war in this country. Could have sparked a race war in this country, and maybe that was his intention. Besides the greed of trying to get more money at work by portraying himself as a victim of a hate crime. But what he did was, wait, hold up. Hate crimes are federal offense, so state charges were dropped. 16 felony state charges were dropped. However, he was ordered to do 2 days of community service. It's not like he got off scot-free, but essentially he did. 2 days of community service, and he loses the $10,000 bond that he placed to get out of jail. So it was a $100,000 bond. You put up 10%, and a bondsman puts up the rest. Now, there are potentially other repercussions because the feds may go after this guy. So there may be federal charges against him. Okay, supposedly this freak dog was never handcuffed nor put in jail, officers said. Let me just kick out the chat. One watching, thank you. Hopefully we'll get some more. Pop out chat, yeah, all right. So, yeah, the potential for federal charges do exist, and also the mayor of Chicago, Ron Romaniel, whatever, former Obama chief of staff, I believe he was, has said that he may go after him for additional monies and civil fines for what, getting back the money that they spent investigating this. Some have calculated that it took 3 detectives a whole day to investigate it. That came at like $8,700. But I'm sure there was more people involved because of such a high-profile reported incident, reported crime. So that's what you got. I mean, you got a corrupt Chicago system. Chicago legal system has been corrupt. For a long time. I've lived in Chicago. I dealt with some Chicago. One of my videos I talked about when I had a car crash, which actually led to the creation of my first album, I Hate Commuting to the City, where I lost control of my vehicle on the icy, whatever you want to call it, parkway, highway, crashed the car, and then I was arrested because I had an outstanding warrant because I had a $75 speeding ticket that I didn't pay. And it was a black cop, and he was real, I mean, you could say he was professional, but he had an attitude. He was professional, but he was a fucking had an attitude. He was a real attitude, and there was no reason to arrest me and take me to jail. Although I wasn't booked or anything like that, I was just put into a holding cell while I guess they dug up the records to see what the warrant was for, right? And when they found that it was a speeding ticket, the dude was embarrassed. The black cop was embarrassed, and he had to let me go. Of course, I had to call my office. Somebody came to bring $75 cash and bail me out, or pay the fine, and I got out. So, I mean, that's just a personal, anecdotal situation, and I'm saying it's just as bad for black people, I'm sure, dealing with black cops. At my university, there were several black men that were murdered, well, in the commission of a crime. They were trying to rob the cashier window at the university where people could go and cash checks and stuff like that. There were several robberies, and in at least 2 cases, the perpetrator was shot by, they were mostly black private security on the university, and so the black perpetrators were gunned down by African-American police officers, or security, private security. That's neither here nor there. I mean, it is what it is. All of the rapes that I'm aware of that happened was black men against white women. Sometimes on the L or the elevated train stop, the trains. I had a roommate who was held at gunpoint while they robbed his ass, and luckily he didn't get hurt. They took his wallet and his money, and he didn't get any kind of assault. He wasn't physically hurt, as far as I know, but they did hold a gun to him. Knock on wood, nothing ever happened to me, and I went into some pretty rough areas. Partly because I was stupid, and partly because I was like, I'm American. This is America. I'm going to go where I got to go. There's a KFC. Actually, no, it was a Church's Chicken. And I want to go to the Church's Chicken, even though it was in a black neighborhood. And I went there, and nobody ever messed with me. I think it's partly how you carry yourself, and probably thought I was a cop, because I would generally reach into my jacket as if I was unlocking my sidearm. Okay, let's put it that way. It worked. Hey, it worked. All right? And I was hungry. And nobody gets in the way of me when I'm hungry, if you know what I'm saying, right? So federal charges, potentially city charges. Here are the 2 brothers, the Nigerian brothers. They look badass, man. They look like cool guys, right? They look like they'd be fun to hang out with. Who perpetrated the hoax. They were paid $3,500. And one of them admitted that he did pour bleach on Mr. Schmolitz. I guess I could say Smolitz. It does sound, it is a Polish word, I'm assuming, but I guess it wouldn't be a Yiddish word because Jews don't eat Schmolitz. They're not supposed to. So anyway, at least on, ones that are not eating pork. So, the top prosecutor recused herself from the investigation last month. Cook County State's Attorney Kim Fox, with a double X, an African-American woman. Oh, here's Ron Emanuel. Ron Emanuel, the mayor of Chicago, says he may go after Schmolitz. Man, just crazy. But look, when you perpetrate a federal offense, a federal hate crime, which could have killed thousands of people, could have caused millions of dollars in damage, but I have to say, at least, let's just be honest. I mean, yeah, there were some black people that got pissed off, and social media, blah, 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 but I think that most people, and I can't speak about my black friends because I actually didn't have any contact with them, with any of them. I'm in Poland. As I mentioned in one of my other videos, what it's like to be white in Poland. I think there's only 2 black people here. But anyhow, one of my black friends who is so anti-Trump that he actually removed his recommendation for me on LinkedIn and disconnected from me. And then I just asked him, hey, man, you heard what happened in the Trump Mueller investigation? It's over. There's nothing. And, again, he just will not let go. He still believes that it's a cover-up. You know what I mean? So those people are lost. Those people that think like that are lost. But what I wanted to just come back to is, I think that the majority of black people probably thought about this for a day or two and said, you know what, this is bullshit. This is bullshit. Why would, 2 o'clock in the morning, why would two white guys be out there with bleach and a noose? It just doesn't make any sense. Like, definitely Chicago, it's bitter cold. It's bitter cold, man. And even in the daytime, there'll be clear skies, kind of blue, lightly cloudy skies. It'll be freaking cold. But the sun, if the sun's coming through, yeah, it'll warm your face up if there's no wind. But if the wind is blowing, you are freezing. So 2 o'clock at night, it's going to be just bitter cold. Nobody's coming outside to mess with any half Jew, half black, half gay, or I guess he's fully gay with the vagina. Come on. It just didn't ring true, and I mentioned that in a previous video, which you can see on my channel. So that's what's up with that. I mean, the other thing I mentioned in the title of this video, I'm talking about Smollett and more, and that is the Trump-Mueller investigation's over. There's been no collusion. There's no evidence of any collusion. There's no collusion. I mean, think about it, people. I think we can be fair-minded, just like in this Smollett's case. Trump didn't need any help from any Russians, and what help could the Russians do? What interference there was, if you want to call it interference, it's just various Russian companies that placed ads on Facebook. Apparently, they spent $4,000. Come on. It's just complete nonsense. We knew, I said that for over 2 years, this was nonsense. It just doesn't ring true. And now that those charges have been dropped, or whatever, that situation has been cleared up, we can only hope that Trump will force his, Attorney General to say, guys, you need to investigate these people who did this and put them in jail. And you need to look at what Hillary Clinton did. I mean, the emails that have been coming out, and what is it, Justice Watch? I think Justice Watch, they have a channel on YouTube. I think it's Justice Watch. Those guys have been doing really good work under the Freedom of Information Act, getting documents released that show how corrupt Hillary Clinton was, and how there was just hundreds, if not thousands, of emails. 7,000 of the 33,000 deleted emails were recovered, and they've been made available most recently. So Judicial Watch. Oh, it's Judicial Watch. And you can find those. You can go through them. You can see who Hillary was talking to. Really corrupt and most likely pay-per-play situation that she was involved in. And there needs to be some justice. But the thing is, look, President Barack Hussein in the membrane Obama claimed that he did not know about Hillary Clinton's private email server. And of course, there is correspondence on there between the president and Hillary Clinton. So he obviously knew. And in fact, when it was brought up to them during the Obama administration, that his PR people did walk it back, okay, and tried to kind of insinuate that they allowed it, or if she didn't do anything wrong. Well, it was wrong, man. Chicago Police Superintendent, do I think justice was served? No. Mega hell no. So, yeah, Johnson, who's been an officer for 31 years, suggested Smollett's attorneys brokered a deal. I mean, it is possible. Look, it is possible that they pleaded out. They said, look, we don't need this to go any further. But Smollett has never admitted that he lied, as far as I know. They may have made a deal, but he did enter charges as not guilty, right? Now, Smollett's court records have been sealed, his attorney says, but, that's the latest thing, is that Chicago police officers have released about 61 pages of the so-called court documents. They're online, you can find them, just Google it. They're trying to keep them off. A new judge ruling says that banning the police from releasing any more documents. But, look, it's obvious that this is a scam. It's obvious that our justice system is twisted. And, it's not what you did, it's who you know. And who you can, I guess in this case, it's who you blow. So, Not part of a deferred prosecution. Man, this dude is one. I have been truthful and consistent on every single level since day one. Yeah, sure. Sure. Truthful and consistent. You're such a liar. Such a liar, man. What a freak dog. Oh, freak dog, man. Freak dog, man. This dude, insane. Anyhow, that's what's happening, people. And now that, like, you know, the final thing is, the final thought is, obviously the Mueller report came out before this announcement, and some have argued that this is in reaction to that. Basically, Chicago being a blue city, a leftist city, a retarded city. Politically, that is, politically. Got some good stakes there, though. That this was maybe in reaction to that. I don't think that necessarily the two are connected. You know, this was going to be what it's going to be. You know what I mean? It probably would have happened. It probably would have happened the same way, no matter what. But yeah, those are my thoughts on this. Chicago was a pretty corrupt city. If you got money, just like OJ, I mean, he got off. If it don't fit, you must acquit. Well, here it did. It didn't fit, and this brother got off. Should not have gotten off. Man. Man, I'm not even going to read this statement from his attorneys Tina Gladia and Patricia Brown Holmes. Complete nonsense. Just a PR nightmare. And I mean, honestly, this man should not. I mean, who would hire this guy? How could you hire this dude? I don't think it would be good for your brand. Whatever your brand is. It's crazy. Dude needs to make a full confession and admit that he lied. I would say before I would even think about hiring this dude if I was anybody who was in a position to hire. I wouldn't have hired the guy anyways. Never seen Empire. Never watched it. Don't care. As probably most of you watching this also don't care about Empire. So, folks, this has been Holy Joe Rock and Roll. Again, Wednesday, 27th of March, 2019. Wishing you a great evening, a happy spring. A spring has sprung most places. And reminding you to always make it happen for the captain. Because you're the captain. Hey, what happened here? You're the captain, baby. Thank you again for watching. This has been Holy Joe Rock and Roll, live and unscripted. Please hit that subscribe button if you're new to this channel. Thumb it up and give me a comment. Do you agree or disagree with the 16 felony charges being dropped on Jussie Smollett? Let me hear from you down below. And I'll talk to you next time.